Is your fear of failure holding you back from reaching all your goals and becoming all that you know that you're capable of? The thing is, if we never fail, chances are we're never going to grow, because oftentimes we don't learn a whole lot from our successes. But like, if we're open about it and if we're willing to fail, we're going to grow and we're going to learn from all of our failure. And also, who actually defines what a failure is for you? Because what others might see as a failure, I might call success for myself, and vice versa.
You work towards a goal. It's not a failure, it's steps to success.
I see it all the time in the comment section of my videos, whether people are talking about people or bots or NPCs maybe even, are often talking about, oh, you're not getting any views, so therefore you're a failure. Stop talking, stop putting yourself out there, stop putting all this work in, it's never gonna pay off. But hey, who's the one with the podcast and who's the one trolling in the comments? Let's get to the video now. Let's talk about this fear of failure. Let's get to it. What's happening, fam? Jared Weiss back here with another video on the Jared and James channel. If you guys didn't know that, must mean that you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think of this video. Follow me on every platform I post regularly everywhere. Check me out wherever you guys listen to content. I'm there, I'm grinding, I'm working on my dreams. So any support that you guys want to give is very much appreciated. So to start off this video, I want to talk about some of the comments that I see often in the comment section of plenty of my clips, particularly on TikTok. One of my least favorite comments I get is this quotation and then it says, "Hey bro, let's start a podcast," or "Everyone must have a podcast these days." And first off, this is not just me starting up a podcast out of nowhere and not putting any work into it.
We have technology.
I mean, I think anyone who's followed me for any period of time could see how much work and how much effort I put into everything I do in my life. I always show up with all my passion, with all my heart, and I give everything I do, everything I've got, and I go all in. But, of course, there's going to be some trolls on TikTok, or trolls on Instagram, YouTube. If you guys listen to content, you guys are going to see these lowlifes who never tried anything in their lives, who never attempted anything, who are going to try to bash you for attempting these things.
Hey Gilmore, you suck.
But my whole thing is, I would much rather be the guy with the podcast, the one who's actually putting himself out there, the one who's actually trying to make a positive impact on people's lives, as opposed to some troll in the comments who has no content on their page,
0.0,
who has nothing meaningful to say, who won't even try anything because they're so afraid of failure,
who have no talent, no guts. People like you who desecrate things they don't understand, when the truth is you should say, "Thank you, man," and go on about your way.
I'd always rather try and fail as opposed to being the one who never attempted anything. Moreover, how do you actually define failure? If you're always just playing it safe, never saying anything, and not doing things or trying things that have a chance of failing, chances are you're not going to be doing anything meaningful either. If you ever want a taste of greatness, just a touch of that, you have to be willing to look foolish. It's like the famous quote, and one of my favorites from the movie Any Given Sunday goes, "It's the guy who's willing to die who's going to get that inch."
Life's this game of inches. In any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch.
It sounds paradoxical, but actually, it's gonna be the guy who's willing to look foolish. It's gonna be the guy who's willing to die, the one who's willing to attempt going after something that seems impossible. They're gonna be the one who actually gets that inch. And they're gonna be the one who actually achieves that thing, as opposed to the one who doesn't believe in themselves enough to try, who doesn't love themselves enough to go after their God-given purpose. If you never try, yes, you'll never fail.
Hey, you want my advice? Never try, never fail.
And maybe you're someone who's okay with that, but that's not me. I'm the guy who's gonna reach towards the stars or reach the top of the firmament as I see it. Flat Earth joke for all my fellow truth seekers. But if I fail and if I fall, I'll land on the clouds. Because you're always gonna get more out of it if you put yourself out there and lose or fail or fall short, as opposed to the one who never even tries. Moving along, this is also one of the biggest messages that I try to inspire kids with out there, is that society wants to convince you to play it safe. They want you to think that the people who are doing things the unconventional way are the lowlifes. They're the ones who are failures.
And you fail.
Who are gonna fall flat on their faces. They're never gonna make anything of themselves.
You're a nobody.
But it's like, as Big Sean says in one of his songs, so much more. And yes, I know I'm always criticizing the rap industry and Hollywood and all that, but like, you can also be inspired by some of these things as well, as long as you understand the entirety of the whole picture. But his grandma wanted him to go to school and he didn't go. Then she saw his face on the front of the Detroit Free Press, and then she said, I guess you made the right decision. Or wanted him to go to school and he didn't go, but then who was asking him to speak at the assembly? That same school. And also think about this. How many people who actually follow all the rules, who do everything the quote-unquote right way, who just follow orders and never think outside the box, and never expand their thinking beyond those walls of the schools or what the mainstream media wants them to think? How many of those people actually end up happy and fulfilled and satisfied in their lives? How many of them end up having regrets way more than the people who tried something different?
I just thought I'd try something different today, you know?
And maybe had to go through a ton of failures before ultimately achieving success. But I think that what gets portrayed in society as the people who do things differently from everyone else, those are also like the ones who usually end up the heroes in our world. And as I've learned also, the free thinkers or the unconventional people often have to accept responsibility when things go awry, but we're also going to be the ones who break past the limits that conventional wisdom has taught you. Getting back to the trolls in the comments, many of them see it as like, oh, this guy's actually trying to make something of himself. Well, I've already told myself that I can't be anything, therefore I'm going to try to hold this guy down too. Or some of them may say to themselves, oh, look at this guy, some of his posts only have 1 like on it, therefore this justifies me for not even posting anything. What a loser this guy is.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
So first off, I love myself enough to do what's difficult, to take that hard path, take the unconventional path, the one that's going to lead me to my individual greatness and towards my purpose, and I'm willing to look foolish in the process. And being someone who's speaking on podcasts and who's posting clips and videos like every day, multiple times per day, and being someone who has the speech challenges that I have and the ones that I've been dealing with as a result of my life-threatening illness, most other people would not even attempt what I'm doing and wouldn't believe in themselves enough to see it all working out for them. But those same people will never achieve anything that I have. They're never going to inspire anyone.
I wouldn't want to fight him.
That's why no one will remember your name.
Because to jump through that ring of fire, you have to be willing to get burned. You have to be willing to be made fun of. You have to be willing to be ridiculed. You have to be willing to be the only one who sees everything working out exactly the way that you envision it in your mind. And no, I'm not saying to attempt anything dangerous. That was not me consenting to anyone actually jumping through fire. It's a metaphor. And it's like, on my jump journey, trying to get my first dunk, or on my content creation journey, what's the worst thing that could happen if I fail? I'm not gonna die doing it.
This squirrel's trying to kill me.
I may experience some ego death along the way. I might get made fun of. I might fall flat on my face. But the upside on the other side of that failure is going to be way higher, and even just going through the journey is going to be way more fulfilling. Then, if I listen to my fears, and if I listen to what all the haters or what all the trolls in the comments have to say, it's like, oh, all the people who are choosing to play it safe and live that conventional life.
When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
Where they go out every weekend, get drunk, take a 9-to-5 job that doesn't actually satisfy them, that doesn't actually satisfy their sole purpose, and they just become a worker bee for the state, never actually making an impact, never going too high, never going too low, just following that path of least resistance. And they might say to themselves, oh, well, at least I'll never get made fun of, or at least I can't lose. But there's a risk to playing it too safe too. Think back to the SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob doesn't want to leave his house anymore because he got hurt last time he did. And he's talking about the virtues of staying indoors.
Oh, living out the remainder of my life in safety. That accident made me realize that it's dangerous out there. And so I've simply decided I am never leaving my house again.
But then what does he realize? Is that really a fulfilling experience? Is that really living your best life? There has to be a balance between taking risks and also just playing it safe your whole life. You have to be smart and you have to take calculated risks and see where it's actually worth it to. And be smart about it, of course, as well. A lot of this could also tie into the whole biblical story of David and Goliath. David was this small, tiny guy going up against Goliath, who was this massive, possibly even Nephilim, if you guys believe in that, as I'm starting to. This giant who everyone thought that David had no shot of beating him, but he believed in himself, he took God's word, and he took down Goliath. So if he never would have tried that, if he just would have listened to everyone who doubted him, what would have happened then? What would he become then?
I will be grateful to die among my friends.
What would he have been remembered as?
How does it feel to be the most hated thing in Bikini Bottom?
Coming back to my whole dunk journey, when I was 13 years old and I told everyone I was gonna dunk one day, even though I still haven't yet, but I'm getting there, and at that time I couldn't even touch the backboard, so everyone made fun of me. But then what happened 9 years later?
Much later.
I touched the rim for the first time.
I hit the rim.
And now, as a result of my willingness to look foolish, and the willingness to follow my path, and the willingness to go through every failure, every trial, every error, I've gotten closer than I ever have to ultimately getting that first dunk. And I've gotten a lot more out of the journey and the process, even though I haven't done it yet. So even if I never did do it, I would still see my ultimate journey as a success. And I've accomplished way more than anyone ever thought I could. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get there. I don't care how long it takes. I'm gonna be that guy who dunks or dies trying, but I will get there. I believe in myself. I know I have what it takes. I know that in this body I'm capable of anything, and as long as I have God with me, I can do anything. And same thing when it comes to my whole life-threatening illness and my whole healing journey. I may be fighting up against Goliath, but I've accomplished so much healing as a result of my belief in myself and my willingness to fall flat on my face and fail. So once again, all these years later, I've gotten way further than the person who never would have tried to achieve the impossible. I've accomplished so much healing that everyone else would have told me 9 years ago was impossible.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
And that it's not even worth to try and go the holistic route, as I have for the past 3 or 4 years now. And that's why I'm so close to being fully healed, and chances are, when I ultimately do accomplish this goal of healing from this life-threatening illness, and when I do ultimately get my first dunk, everyone's gonna say, "Oh, I knew you had it in you all along." Because that's how it works. First they're gonna doubt you, first they're gonna ridicule you, and then you're gonna be on this path for all these years. You're gonna be working hard in silence with no applause, and then when you ultimately do achieve that goal, everyone's gonna say, "I believed in you all along." Furthermore, how do you define failure and success for you? Not what society wants, not what your parents want. How do you define being a failure or being a success? And a lot of this comes back to my video talking about knowing your worth and understanding your true value as a person, beyond anything that you're doing. I think it's so important for us to ask ourselves when we're on our journeys of trying to accomplish these massive goals, am I doing what I love? Am I giving it my all? Am I inspiring even just one person out there? What if I took an outsider perspective? Would I be proud of myself? Would I be proud of what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve?
I'm proud of you. You know it's not easy going after your dreams. That's why most settle, but you're not like the rest.
Then can you really be failing if you checked off all those boxes? And if you're working towards something special, working on a dream or your passion? I don't think you could fail at all if you're doing any of those things. The only way that you're gonna fail is if you never try and if you never attempt anything, as far as I see it. As Michael Jordan famously said, "I can accept failure, what I can't accept is not trying." Do you only consider yourself to be a success when you're getting tons of views or when you have tons of followers or tons of friends, or only when you're hitting PRs in the gym? Or can you consider yourself a success based on the person you're becoming and the personal growth that you're achieving on the journey in the process? So can you be a success before the numbers call you a success? I think so. And that's the whole reason why you're never going to see me taking down any of my posts that only have 1 or 2 likes, that don't have tons of views, and you're never going to see me ashamed for trying. I'm never going to be ashamed for all the thousands of times I've jumped towards the rim in hopes of dunking and missed and failed. And that's what I want to show all the kids out there too, is that your efforts won't go unnoticed, and just because you're not successful in the eyes of everyone else doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't special and isn't important.
How do I do it? By rolling with the punches, baby!
And I want to show everyone that you're not defined by how many likes you get. I think all my posts are still incredible. I think every shot I've ever taken in basketball, every jump I've ever done along my jump journey, none of it goes wasted. It's all part of accumulating towards me reaching my massive goals. And so, if I could show kids out there,
Hey, young fella,
that even someone like me who's working incredibly hard on every post and everything I do, that sometimes maybe you will only get 1 like on a post, but I'm gonna ultimately succeed in the end because I was willing to fail. You may have to go through 1,000 failures, 10,000 failures, or 10,000 missed attempts at success just to finally reach that first taste of success, but that doesn't make you a failure. That makes you someone who is brave enough to have the courage to go all in, to bet on yourself, to love yourself enough, and I think that's more respectable than anything, and that's also a lot more than I could say for a lot of other people out there who would quit after 1 year or 1 month of posting videos if they weren't getting paid thousands of dollars, or would quit their dunk journey after 1 year because their friends made fun of them. So now, lastly, I want to close this video up by talking about a very powerful story that I heard years ago from this one basketball trainer who I used to follow on YouTube, Michael Lancaster. He used to have this one incredible motivational video that I used to watch talking about being willing to be blind. So in the video, he talks about how if you were blind, you would do anything to be able to see. You'd do anything for the gift of sight. You'd be willing to look foolish because you wouldn't even be able to see yourself. So you would attempt anything, you would try everything out there, no matter how silly or how stupid it looked, knowing that by trying it, there was a chance that you might be able to see once again. And the whole purpose behind the video was talking about how you have to try, you have to be willing to put yourself out there, you have to be willing to fall flat on your face, you have to be willing to fail enough times in order to succeed, because at the end of the video what he says is that if you don't even try, then you're just blind anyway. And a lot of this ties back into what RJ was saying during one of my recent clips and during one of my recent Rabbit Hole Roundup videos, referring to one of the comments about me and my speech challenges, my stammering and stuttering, where one of these trolls in the comments was saying that you need to learn how to speak. I hope you guys all listened to RJ's sock puppet performance on that, because that was absolutely amazing. By the end of that clip, what RJ was saying is that you need to learn how to talk so that you can be just like me, but of course he was being sarcastic because this guy had no posts and had nothing meaningful to say and was not able to hold any valuable conversations that I have weekly, daily.
All these weenies are saying is like, but I have a clear speaking voice, but I just have nothing to fucking say with it.
And so the whole thing is, I'm not afraid to use my voice, I'm not afraid to sound silly with my speech challenges, because I love myself and I'm willing to take the difficult path. And so as far as I can see it, this guy was basically blind anyways because he wasn't even trying, and I was the one who was actually willing to put myself out there enough times to sound silly to some people. But that's why I'm going to be the one who achieves the success that all these low-life people who would crumble if they went through anything that I've been through would never even dream of achieving. So anyways, I love you guys. I hope that this message resonates with you. I hope that you guys are all willing to put yourselves out there, to look silly, to look foolish, sound foolish, because if you never attempt anything, you're never going to grow, and if you're not messing up enough, you're probably not going hard enough. So anyways guys, don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Don't be like these people in the comments who make fun of me for trying and for living out my dreams, because I love what I'm doing. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care if I fail 1,000 more times, because like I said, the only way that I would ever truly fail is if I didn't go after what I believe to be my purpose and follow my passions. Love you all. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.